think that most players they want to get into the new maps, right? Like even though 2000 Atmospheres is the most standard map, like we still haven't seen it today.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
which is, I appreciate that too, but you know, I want to get into at some point. Regardless, though, we are going to be casting our first semifinals of the evening. As a reminder, this is still a best of 3. We only get to the best of 5s when we get to the grand finals. In the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner, the red Zerg player coming out from the land of India. He is, of course, going to be representing Alpha X. He is a shark himself. He is Demi.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Curious Minds, LE, we have the Vietnamese Zerg player himself. He is blue, representing the Juggernauts. It is MeomaikA.
Hashtag Nautical Army.
Oh my. Exactly, and Demi is doing the light opener, which shouldn't be coined by me at all. But he's going gas pool, mate.
I agree. It should be coined by Romanian Light.
Mate, he didn't even play Zerg.
Player.
Yeah, I was about to say he didn't even play Zerg, mate. Oh my god.
You're right. It should be coined by Korean Light.
He was Terran.
Plays Terran in Root War.
God damn it. So we do have a gas pool opener here from Demi. We'll see if he pulls out of gas after he reaches 100 for Ling speed, or if he decides to commit and go for a Baleen Nest.
I hope it's the latter, but it's to be determined. We'll see if he does decide to pull out of gas. And watching that gas count get higher and higher for Demi, he's almost at 100 light. He almost has enough for Link speed.
Yeah, exactly. Link speed does begin, and he does not pull out of gas, so he is going to be going for that Baleen Nest. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, MeomaikA did go for a safe opening himself. He did go for a pool first. I think it was pool hatch gas, if I'm not wrong. It may have been pool gas.
I believe so.
Hatch, yeah. Regardless, he did go for a safer opening, so because of that, he will have much faster queens, as his first one is already out.
Yes, like so. And MeomaikA is fond of his queens. He's definitely gonna need them if Demi goes a bit more Baneling heavy.
Yep.
Just having that little bit of extra range, worst comes to worst, they can tank a shot or two.
Yeah, exactly. And there it is. The Baleen Nest does get thrown down at Demi. He's going to be running across the map with Ling Bane. And if MeomaikA is not careful, like, he can be overwhelmed. It's all about his queens, their positioning, their ability to wall off as well, and just provide that surface area for each other.
Yeah, I think thankfully for MeomaikA, Curious Minds has a very narrow ramp guarding the natural base. Much more so than on a map like Oxide from the previous season.
Yeah, and there are a couple of things that happened. So Demi, he did scout the timing of the hatchery, and he confirmed that it was a pool first opening. He's about to slip in as well. What's interesting to me is that even though Demi's opener was aggressive, like, he just droned up. Like, he didn't make a wave of lings, which was shocking to me.
He's gonna be a third base.
Yeah.
Huh.
He's crazy. And he just got a full scout off. Like, the lings, they even survived.
Huh. Alrighty then, I guess maybe Demi just wants to do Demi things where he wants to play it out generally macro, but if he is aggressive, then he's only going to really be aggressive by that third base location on MeomaikA. Speaking of third base denial, MeomaikA is going to be the player to initiate that. The Baelings are here, they're getting in position. Meo gets a decent snipe on one of them. Can he get that twice?
Ooh.
Very nice shot here from the side of Demi, but MeomaikA still has plenty of Zerglings to delay the third base.
Yeah, exactly. The third base does get denied, despite the fact that Demi did have faster link speed and a faster Baneling Nest. He only had 2 Banelings, and he didn't really have enough here to hold on, so the third base is incredibly late here for Demi. We'll see if he tries to counterattack. Meanwhile, MeomaikA, he got a Baneling Nest of his own.
And now he's looking to reciprocate that hard. MeomaikA opened up safe, but now he's completely flipping the switch.
Yeah, and I'm worried
He's
because...
the first player to go aggressive.
Yeah, I'm worried because where are the Banelings for Demi? Finally, he starts to them, but oh my god! Oh.
Beautiful connection here for MeomaikA. Demi, understandably, didn't think there would be Banelings in that location. Oh, but looks like he could fight fire and fire. Not quite.
Oh my god! Like,
so much better for MeomaikA.
MeomaikA, his bathing connections were
my
insane. GG gets called. Every single bathing was juicy. What?
Are you sure we didn't switch the player names? I do not expect MeomaikA to be the player to get the juicy Balin connections typically.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, just so much value gotten there. Unfortunately, Demi really slipping up with his own micro, which I feel like we do have to put the onus a little bit more on Demi, a little bit less on MeomaikA there with the control. But, oh my god.
Oh. It's a pretty unfortunate series game overall. I think, again, this is a very new map. Nobody would expect, right, your Zerg opponent to be building Banelings right in the middle of the map over there.
Yeah.
That unfortunately was something MeomaikA was able to take advantage of, and with that, he takes game number 1.
Yeah.
Yes, it's un o más.
And the thing is, like, it wasn't even anything special. Like, it was just like,
Yeah.
she just applied pressure with his Ling Bane, and Demi just wasn't expecting it. He wasn't at all, which I don't blame him. MeomaikA isn't necessarily known for his Ling Bane. So, yeah, crazy.
Definitely crazy. And now it looks like we're going to be ramping that up a little bit. So going to a map that, in my mind anyway, is a lot more open than Curious Minds.
Yeah, it's also one of those things where, once again, mate, we end our game on Curious Minds incredibly quickly. We didn't really get to see too much out of it. It's just, alright, hyper-aggressive Ling Bane, let's go.
Well, we'll see if that continues or not, as we continue our series on Hotwire LE. We're in the top right-hand corner map. Starting all the way in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player coming down from the Jewel of India. He does, in fact, guard those waters of the Zerg near the triangle, as he is the Shock himself. We have Demi.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the Vietnamese Zerg player himself. He is blue, representing the Juggernauts. It is MeomaikA. Oh my god.
I'm going for a pool first.
Yes.
As Demi goes for a gas hat pool.
Yeah, that mirror the exact same openers as game 1. From both players.
I love to see it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really curious because it was again, my mind was blown that Demi had opened up with a gas pool hatch and he was as passive as it was. Like, this is like, again, you have so much power with this. So I do wonder if he also thought the same thing, and he's like, maybe I should have been a little bit more aggressive, and maybe that's what we're gonna see here.
I would definitely hope so. There were definitely a lot of moments where MeomaikA looked pretty vulnerable in that last game. Then we just needed to, exploit that a little.
Yeah, it's always risky though. Like, it's one of those things where if Demi did make a massive wave of Lings, he's kind of all in. Like, as in, he has to deal damage with it, otherwise he is far behind. So I'm really curious to see if Demi scouts once again, which he will. He confirms it's a pull first, and whether that will either trigger him to be more defensive again and drone up, or if he decides to be aggressive anyway.
Well, for now he is going to be a little bit defensive, but once that Overlord gets in the main base and sees that MeomaikA isn't going for didn't go for a pool gas or anything like that, won't be getting link speed for a while, I think the dynamics is going to get completely flipped.
Yeah, I'm just curious just to see like the mindset of Demi and how he uses this build. If it's like, okay, if he scouts that it's a pull first, like there's value to be had there where he just decides to drone up, because it's like, well, I mean, my opponent should defend what I'm doing, right? Question mark, maybe. Because at the moment we're just seeing drones being made here for Demi. Like, he's not really making any wave of Lings at the moment.
Not quite yet. He does follow up that Ling speed with Bailing Nest once again, but as he was saying, he's droning up a lot more. Doesn't really seem like he's going to be too aggressive with his Ling Bane. Seems to be just a safety Baneling nest for now.
Oh my god, and the Ling will not get behind the mineral line. He does not see the hidden Roach Warren behind the natural.
Wait, really?
No, he doesn't see. He
no!
got behind the main, but he didn't get behind the natural.
I was gonna go into a whole thing where it's like, yes, it's Demi is going for Ling Bane, then, you know, it doesn't take too much for him to get +1 melee behind this and completely shut down the roaches of MeomaikA, but he doesn't see it. He's getting a lot of Lings, to his credit, but he's gonna be turning a bunch of them into Banelings, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Like, so to be fair, if he makes a lot of Lings, he's gonna be okay, because he will have the opportunity to surround these roaches. But he doesn't know, because again, MeomaikA is doing MeomaikA things. He's going to be pushing away the overlords. Up.
Now he sees the roaches, though. Whew.
Yeah.
Okay.
He knows, and immediately, this is what he needs to do. He needs to throw down as many spines as possible, because MeomaikA, he's pushing out across the map. He's going to look to end the game, and all the Demi has to do is survive.
Yeah, his own third base is about to finish up. MeomaikA has delayed his economy for so long. Mio has to deal with damage of this.
Oh.
And if Demi doesn't take any damage, he is going to have a pretty massive advantage. But he's catching the Lings as they turn around.
Yeah, exactly. MeomaikA with the big brain recognizes that he has been scouted. He will most likely not end the game, so he drones up and takes a third.
Alrighty then, still going to be at a bit of a disadvantage, but it's definitely not out of it yet, especially if Demi somehow gets a little overly defensive.
Yeah.
There's always an opportunity for MeomaikA to bamboozle him a bit and go ham on the drones, as we see right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what we just saw is that Demi didn't cancel the spine, so that's 200 minerals down the drain. He didn't join up his third base despite having a much faster third, and he made nothing but roaches. So because of that, MeomaikA is the one far ahead in the worker count.
Wow. And sure, Demi has that third base, but that's only useful for larva right now. He hasn't been able to saturate it yet, compared to MeomaikA, who's going to be able to saturate his third base and main art these drones pretty much immediately as it finishes.
Yeah, like, again, look at the workers. He's ahead 12 workers here, even though he had that, like, sneaky fast Roach Warren. So, completely bamboozling Demi here. Demi, even late when it comes to the lair of MeomaikA is almost already done.
That's MeomaikA. That's really MeomaikA for you, isn't it? You get a bit of an advantage. You think that you know what he's going for. But turns out he is the one with the advantage all along. He is the one who will look at your whatever advantages you have and turn them into disadvantages.
Exactly. Like, now we've reached a point where Demi's in a really difficult position, because he's down in the economy, he's down in the tech, in a mirror matchup. So what do you do from here? You know what I want? I want to see a Spire do something completely out of left field.
Go and see the Muta King of Southeast Asia. Alrighty then. I wouldn't be too opposed to that either. He is getting another gas, but he's prioritizing +1 range and Galari Constitution. We'll see if this works out for him. He is very far down the army supply, but I don't know. I have some hopes here.
Yeah.
If he gets a really good position and fights with his spine crawlers.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, right? Like, he has those spines from earlier, so he will have the defender's advantage, like a pretty big defender's advantage, especially if the spines are in good enough positions. But that timing for MeomaikA, it's going to hit soon and hard, because +1 and Glial are about to finish up, and MeomaikA, he is waddling across the map.
It's already halfway through.
Yeah, the queens are already killing more
zones?
overlords. Like, MeomaikA's queens are crazy. They always deal so much damage.
Somehow, Demi doesn't see this army in particular, but he knows that at the very least something is coming his way. Every single roach of MeomaikA is firing, and let's just appreciate that army supply difference for a little bit, shall we?
Exactly.
This is even without transfuse.
Yeah, and despite Demi having the spines in probably the best position and the concave, the numbers are just insane for MeomaikA.
GG is called. MeomaikA will take that series 2-0. It's a little bit of revenge from DreamHack.
He does. If you remember, MeomaikA was 2-0'd by Demi and DreamHack.
He was.
In a pretty convincing fashion. So here MeomaikA comes out with the mind games. I was, especially that last game that we saw, I was so impressed by how MeomaikA was like selling a story and Demi was buying all of it, mate.
He is a used car salesman.
Oh my god.
Then all of a sudden the car breaks down in the middle of the highway. Middle of a train track.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what happened. Again, like, because Demi was kind of he had scouted and he had seen some certain bits of information. He was responding to them, but MeomaikA was aware that he was being scouted, so he was again doing what was a little bit unexpected, and because of that, in a mirror matchup, Demi was being put behind. Just wow, what a game. It's
absolutely, and
yeah.
well, now we got that out of the way. We're gonna be going into our ZVP right next, as we get Oreo and Beastork in order. That was MeomaikA is just taking no prisoners today. How long have his series been? Series against Pez like 10 minutes. Series against Demi like 15. Something along those lines.
Which, to be fair, that last game was one of the more longer games that we had, but very action packed.
Without a doubt.